Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape,
vinyl tape, carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneur Enclave, Life's Coming Attraction. I am your host, Kevin Wortham. Man, I am so excited. This woman is a mover and a shaker. Welcome to the platform, Toni. How are you?
Hello there. How you doing, Kevin?
I am doing well. This has been, so outside of you and I talking today and perhaps last year, I had not spoken to you in almost 20 years.
It has been over 20 years. It's not 5 months, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going
to. Yeah, we won't talk about that. But because I think because you came out of Notre Dame, right?
Came out of Notre Dame as you did as well.
Yeah. So we won't talk about how long though.
True.
Okay. So let's just fast forward because I know that you're going to give me and give the audience so much information. We know that there's always a part 2 already coming. So let's just jump into what is Toni doing now?
Oh, okay. I'm going to say what Toni is doing now, but I have to start with Toni is a proud resident of Trenton, New Jersey.
Yes.
I want to put that there. I always rep Trenton, New Jersey, even though I am based in New York. But
yes.
We have New Jersey as well. So Toni Isreal right now is founder and CEO of REALEMN Productions, which specializes in BIPOC, meaning Black, Indigenous, people of color, marketing and press to Broadway, off-Broadway, and cultural institutions.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. How'd you get started with that, Toni?
Okay, I got started at that really early age. I always tell the story. My mom introduced me to theater.
Yes.
I used the phrase that's when theater chose me. I fell in love with theater at my first Broadway show that she took me to, which was Arms Too Short to Box with God.
Yes.
And
wow.
So that's really what I credit. But, upbringing is definitely through church.
Yes.
Follow Baptist Church in Trenton, New Jersey, which is a very theatrical church. I really got to hone in on a lot of behind-the-scenes things as they were doing productions. Then through my path, I met McCarter Theater. And McCarter Theater really did take me in, teach me, hone in on my skills, but then brought me to New York City where I met Donna Walker-Kuhn. And she emphasized and really did take me under her wing. She is now one of my forever mentors, and that brought me to REALEMN Productions.
Wow. Now, stop for a second. How important is it, or was it for you to have a mentor?
I say I teach this to young folks on our staff. I teach this to young folks that I encounter. I do feel having a mentor is always great.
Yes.
It's someone that you talk to, always, somebody who you aspire to be, or at least a path that you want to go on. And you can see it, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can ask some questions. I actually have 3 mentors that I still have to this day, and they were mentors who were instrumental in bringing me where Toni is right now.
Wow. Now, so sometimes I always forget to ask this question, but because this is the Entrepreneur Enclave podcast, when you started REALEMN Productions, did you do a business plan?
No.
Oh no. Oh,
I would say, but I quickly did one.
okay.
Productions came about doing bus trips from
Yes.
Trenton, New York. So it was a place that I had to, having a financial background, I needed a bank account. I needed, a place to put the money because money was coming in. We were doing huge bus trips,
Yes.
1, 2, 4 buses to New York, tickets, dinner, and everything. So I needed to open up an LLC.
Yes.
So I knew that. So it worked in reverse, did that, and then I did the business plan because I really didn't think, in all honesty, I didn't think this was going to be a career path for me.
Got you. What did you think you were going to move into, Toni?
I was doing financial. I was fine, just
Okay.
being a pharmaceutical a pharmaceutical financial
Wow.
person. I was with banking, and then went over to accounting.
Yes.
That went over fixed assets. That's what I was doing.
Wow. So you start REALEMN Production, and then how soon does the work come into you?
Okay, so REALEMN Productions on Broadway.
Yes.
It's a path. Definitely is a path. So it's relationships that you start to build.
Okay.
From that to McCarter Theater. I still work with McCarter Theater. They're a client of REALEMN Productions.
Yes.
But your name starts to get out there and what you do. And when you can have that emphasis on bringing BIPOC audiences, Black audiences to theater,
Yes.
that is very attractive to different theaters that are looking to bring that audience in. So that's where we go. We grow. We grew through word of mouth.
Wow. So tell me, how does this actually work? Someone would contact you and say, I've got this Broadway show coming, and we want to contract with you to bring in or promote this type of audience, or promote to this type of audience. How does that work?
Pretty much. It's
Okay.
relationships we have with producers.
Okay.
So when producers have a show that they have coming to Broadway, off Broadway, or a theater, and they're looking for audience development.
Okay.
They're looking to expand their audience. They're looking for BIPOC press. We have 2 publicists on our team. They're looking for media relations, people who can buy ads in local papers, newspapers, mainly, Black, Asian papers we reach out to, Latinx papers.
Yes.
So we have those on our team that specializes in that. And that's what makes us, I feel, very attractive to folks because we are an agency. We encompass a lot. We can do marketing, audience development, community engagement, group sales. We do digital, we do social, and again, we do press.
Wow. So now, during the pandemic, I guess, which path were you in? Which lane were you in while we were in the pandemic? Because everything was shut down in Broadway.
We did a lot of writing.
Okay.
We did a lot.
Got you.
That's what we did. We grew within the pandemic.
Got you.
God be the glory, and I'm grateful for everything. But that's when, with the death of George Floyd,
Yes.
everybody, the whole reckoning that was happening, a lot of industries, Broadway included, was called out on the lack of diversity.
Yes.
We always was there, but we were amplified in that time frame because companies like REALEMN Productions were called upon for that diversity.
Wow.
We grew.
Wow. That's beautiful. So now 5 years from now, where is REALEMN Productions?
REALEMN Productions will be, and I'm going to claim that, we will be in film, television, along with theater, and hopefully, prayerfully working between New York, Atlanta, and LA.
Now, my question is, you say you're always repping Trenton. What could Trenton do for you to establish your REALEMN Productions or your headquarters here? What does Trenton have to do?
So I will tell you what Trenton is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Trenton is supporting us right now. They
Yes.
come to New York by the busloads, by the churches,
Yes.
by just stations, 2 different shows that they would be interested in seeing. It doesn't necessarily have to be Broadway. There could be shows that we have that could be geared towards youth. We have a show now called Superhero, and that's really geared towards young male groups. and we reach out to the young male groups in Trenton and bring them to the theater.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Wow. Now, when we were at Notre Dame, did you see yourself doing this or no?
No,
So
no.
you just saw financial or whatever the case may be, and I'm done.
I will say this, Kevin. When you and I were in high school, we went the traditional path. I didn't think of theater at all. I don't even think I went to any of the Notre Dame productions. Doing something that you love, which was at that time numbers.
Got you.
And I take still within REALEMN Productions, we still have to, we have to reconcile accounts, we have to reconcile invoices, we do contracts, we do budgets.
Yes.
So the trust accounting helps a lot in this field.
Wow. What Toni, what has been one of the number one challenges that you had to overcome, right?
Oh, number one challenge. Being seen.
Okay.
We'll say that.
What do you mean?
Seen.
What do you mean by that?
So even though the organization is growing and thriving,
Yes.
still get systemic racism. You still is up against a boys club in
Yes.
getting women, getting people of color involved with producing a Broadway show.
Yes.
Being in a room and you're the only Black person represented, representing a whole a whole culture.
Yes.
Things like that. That's still out there. It's getting better, but it's still out there.
Well, now what do we do to change that? What are you doing to change that?
I'm trying to train that next generation. Work as a team, so that's a beautiful thing. But I want them to be strong enough that they can go into a meeting and represent REALEMN. It doesn't necessarily have to be me all the time.
Got you.
So you're in those meetings, and you're talking about people who invested tens of millions of dollars into a show.
Yes.
You have to show up and make your voice heard on what you can bring to the table to make that Broadway show better or even more seen.
Understood. Now, do people often look at you and say, you know what, you're not supposed to be here?
I won't say they look at you and say that, but
Okay.
you get a vibe on some people. I would say mostly, and the industry is great.
Okay.
People that are great. People are pulling for you to do well in these rooms. But I call them. There's always some boo boos.
Yeah.
That's just what there are. There definitely some boo boos. So there's people who are not for you, sure. But we know as Black folks that we have to be twice as good to just even be seen. So
Absolutely.
that's the whole.
Now, I got a curious question. With your status now, has anyone from Notre Dame High School called you back and say, Toni, come speak to our students?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I move so fast, but yes, definitely people have asked me to speak. I'm definitely taking on more speaking engagements.
Yes.
For me, I'm a behind the scenes person, so I, push the needle. I don't necessarily have to be the needle. So, I would definitely do more. I would love to speak more to youth. If anything I could do to help someone, hone in on their craft or to teach, I'm definitely here for it.
Because when you want to talk about diversity and inclusion, right? Let's go back down to the younger minds and let's really, set the tone for what their new expectations need to be as they move in the path that's looking similar to yours. This is fantastic. So I think when you and I made the first connection reconnection about 2-3 years ago, and you were telling me what you were doing, I was just blown away. And then to follow you on Facebook, I'm like, damn, that's all right. That is all right. Wow.
Yeah, we're more stuff out there because usually people hit me up after the fact. They're like, well, you didn't tell us it's going. So I try to stay on top of it a little bit better.
No, you are doing well. So what have you learned from this industry? Are there a lot of you in this space right now? Are there people of your ilk in this industry now?
I won't say there's always room for more.
Yes.
And always room at the table for more.
Yes.
Right now, I would say, right off the top of my head, it might be 3 or 4 of us doing this in New York.
Wait, time out. As large as the industry is in New York, there's only 3 or 4 of you guys?
different agencies, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there are silos, but as far as like, really get called to do the Broadway shows, yeah,
Yes. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. But
That's
hey, REALEMN is one of them.
no, and that's great, but it's crazy to think as long as the industry has been around and as much as the industry seems to be evolving, that there's only 3 to 4 agencies around there that do the work that you do. Wow.
Well, think of it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's just like film and television, when you see that world, you think that world is really, really big,
Yes.
but it's really close knit of people.
Okay.
It's the same with Broadway.
Got you.
Close group of people. So we all just fluctuate around the show, and it just works like that. I don't know where that comes from, but it's a small net of people.
Wow. Got you.
Yep.
Got you. Curious question. Have you had any regrets in what you've done so far or the
No.
direction that the company's going?
No.
Okay.
I love the path that we're going. I try to really sit still in that. I try not to make any hasty decisions.
Yeah.
So I really about it. I know the team knows I always state that we do chess moves.
Yes.
So we're not in checkers with folks.
Yes.
We're doing chess. So we're moving folks to be in position to, be the best of themselves because they're representing REALEMN production. Yeah.
Yes. Now, how'd you come about the name? Because I love it, but how'd you come about the name?
A lot of people ask that because a lot of people don't even know how to pronounce it on paper.
Yeah,
So
REALEMN.
yeah. But it's based off of, I would say, ebonically speaking,
Yes.
REALEMN.
Yeah.
And because my husband loves to fish,
Yes.
I was thinking of how to play off of the last name Isreal.
Got you.
So I chose Real. And because Real wanted to get into film, it was a film reel.
Yes.
And then I used the book. So it was REALEMN.
I love it.
So it's real in client, real in folks to us, REALEMN.
Really, them as the young folks say, reel in the bags.
That too, yes.
Yeah. So now, and I'm guessing I'm hesitating to ask this question.
Sure.
Could not a theater, but could an actor in a theater who happens to be of color request that your company provides the service?
We have been asked that. It's depending on what the client wants.
Yes.
If they're a market, one woman show, or just marketing themselves, name out,
Yes.
we could do that.
Got you.
If they're looking for an agent or something like that, we haven't tapped it.
Okay. Interesting. But you're right, because I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and we were talking about, unfortunately, had this whole pandemic, like this whole trifecta of awakening, had that not happened, we still would be going around thinking that where we were was normal, and we would still be arguing, fussing, and fighting for scraps on the table as opposed to making the table.
Yeah.
Pretty
much. It was a trifecta that had to happen.
Yes.
God, he sat us all down.
Yeah. But
to regroup.
But there's a lot of us, so it's like a mixed message. There's a lot of us that understand the assignment, as the young folks say, and others just don't want the assignment to be known because they are still not wanting us to assume our rightful spot. But I love it. So what do you like about being in this industry, and what do you like about being an entrepreneur?
I never would have thought I would be an entrepreneur. I was fine with the corporate world.
Yeah.
But I love the flexibility of it.
Yes.
I love the creativity of it. We're pretty much in our, we can set our own destiny.
Okay.
In our reach, we can, take the direction and say, okay, we want to pivot this way or we want to pivot that way.
Yes.
And you don't have a whole, corporation to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's 15 right now, and we're bringing on 2 more people.
Okay.
So shout out to the REALEMN team.
That's all right. Now you can handle, when you're doing audience development, you can handle everything from A to Z, from getting the bus, getting the tickets, meeting some of the people that are actually performing in the Broadway theater show? Maybe take them to a meal. You can do all that, right, from A to Z.
Yeah, we brought many of stars to Trenton.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm just now hearing about it. Where have I been, under a rock?
Yeah, and I will say this: we don't advertise ourselves.
Yes.
So there's a lot in Trenton that don't know what I do.
Okay.
Only my church does.
Got you.
It's not like something that we flex on.
Got
We
you.
just do it, and we move on to the next.
But I think that we need to begin to flex, or you need to begin to flex, because a lot of times when I'm doing this podcast, I'm getting a mixed conversation. Some folks said that there's no energy here in Trenton, or what they were looking to do was not here, so they had to go away, and they weren't being encouraged to be here. So it's like a mixed bag. So I think that if you do have the ability to flex on what you do, that may encourage more folks to stay here. Why couldn't you do that? I don't know. I mean, we need to have that conversation, right?
That is true, but I will say,
yes,
I'm in New York more.
No, I
than
know.
Trenton.
No, I get that. I mean, New York is the industry. I get that. That's the industry of the world, the mecca for what you do. I get that. But I'm also saying that just to share with folks that there's more to this world than just Trenton. But at some point, let's come back home, and let's make sure that the younger folks that are here understand that too, so they can live with a sense of hope, right?
Absolutely. There's a lot of actors and actresses that are on Broadway.
Okay.
Right now. Yeah.
Okay. And but I mean, are they? But they're not necessarily from Trenton, are they?
Yeah.
What? You're gonna have the next when we do part 2. You're gonna have to give me a roster, because people need to know that, right?
No, they really do, and we have represented a few of them on Broadway.
Yeah, because listen, I get sick to my stomach when think about this, right? The reason why our young folks are hurting is because they have this perceived notion, wrong or right, that there's no opportunities here. But if they knew that so and so was from Trenton High, from Notre Dame, or from Mercer County, and they went to school here, and now they're doing something on Broadway, but they come back to Trenton or to Mercer County periodically, that would give them hope. They were like, yes, right? And they've taken so many of the programs out of the schools.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we need to encourage all of that again.
Yeah, we do. There's programs that we're definitely, work with all the time, like Bruce Boyd organization, Isles.
Yes.
We reach out to them all the time when we get, comp tickets.
Okay.
We give them to them.
Okay.
I want to get more Upper Bound programs.
Okay.
So
yes.
I came through Upper Bound program.
Okay.
I went back to them. It's all about paying it forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, Toni, I know you got a hard stop, so we're going to make this part 1, but we're going to reconnect and schedule for part 2. Love you. I am so excited for you. And next time that we do part 2, right? Let's really talk about how do you single-handedly change the industry. Those are big shoes to fill.
That's how we.
No, it's you. I'm going to follow your lead. Toni, I'm wishing you nothing but continued success, right? Let's stay connected, and we're going to reschedule for part 2. Okay. All right?
And your podcast, follow us on @REALEMN Productions.
Yeah, well, Facebook. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, @REALEMN Productions. REALEMN Productions with an S. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Sorry.
Absolutely. Toni, thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to talk and text in a minute now. Peace.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
That concludes another episode of The Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. If you have any questions or comments about any of our episodes, please call 609-731-9311 or email Kevin at minding-our-business.com. We look forward to joining us for our next one. Until next time.